welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelly. I'm a writer and an astrologer and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I thank you so much for joining me today. This video is not posting on Saturday as it normally does. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I do have my family is visiting. I'm actually seeing my mom for the first time in a really long time, so I have been admittedly kind of slacking on the filming of the videos because I wanted to spend time with my family. So I appreciate you giving me some extra time to get this video out. But it does not need to be the week of November the 6th through November 13th in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this video at any time, there may be messages contained. As always, we keep our decks in rotation. The first deck that we have is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. The second deck is the Starseeker Tarot by the Van Mystic. The third deck we have is the Zillich Tarot, published by US Games. And as kind of an added treat, we have two oracle decks that we're going to clarify with today. The first is the Archetype cards by Carolyn Myss, and then the second deck is the Mystical Kipper deck. All of the names and the authors of the decks that I use are in the description box below. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and move up the other decks. So let's go ahead and let's see. Deck number 1, the Witch's Tarot. What is your energy for the week? Let's go ahead and see. Deck number 1. Ooh. We're going to go with the top card. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, middle of the week. Okay, end of the week, please. All right, and let's go ahead and see what are the... Let's go ahead and get your two cards here. So, oh, okay. We had another one flip, so we'll go ahead and take both. All right. Oh, this is really quite beautiful, guys. You have two aces going on this week. So, the beginning of the week, you have the Nine of Cups crowning the Ace of Pentacles. This is really amazing, guys. Now, first off, I'm kind of sensing that in this card, you see an abundance here, like a cornucopia. You also see pineapples and pumpkins here and grapes. What it is in this image, I see a lot of these foods that, hundreds of years ago when pineapples used to be a real delicacy, like they were rare. I know this sounds so funny, if you've ever looked at furniture that have, like the bedpost of a bed that's wooden that has like pineapples engraved in it, or, pineapples, if you look up the symbolism and the history of a pineapple, pineapples were used to be so rare that they were really expensive. And when you gave someone a pineapple, it was like a sign of welcoming, and it was a sign of affluence. It was really like a big deal. Same thing what goes with grapes. Grapes at the turn of the century were like really expensive, and they were really, with it being used to create wine and other things, it's just like another real delicacy. And here it just kind of looks like a cornucopia. So over the weekend and into the beginning of the week, I feel like, first off, I get a sense that you might be celebrating something. I am getting kind of like a private celebration here, though. I feel like you might be starting something new this week where it just feels... again, if you've ever completed a project at work, or if you've ever gotten a raise or a promotion, and then you may not throw like a party to celebrate that, but you might do something special for yourself as a reward, right? Like, again, you might take yourself out to get dinner at your favorite restaurant, or you might buy a bottle of wine and kind of do like a private toast, or again, you might buy yourself some type of gift. But here I definitely see I see some kind of celebration where you might be receiving some welcoming gifts. Like, again, maybe this is a promotion or something like that, where you're getting, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of a pineapple or something like that, but maybe you're getting some kind of welcome gifts, or maybe you got I know sometimes if you've done really well at work and you get one of those awards that have like your name engraved on it, or just just the notification that, hey, you've been recognized for this. And it feels like a strong new beginning. It feels like something that you can really build on. That Ace of Pentacles it's a solid new beginning to something. It can also be a financial, like maybe this is the first week that you're getting your new paycheck. If you just got a raise and this is the first week and you're like, ooh, I get to splurge a little bit. This is the first paycheck, right? I'm also getting that kind of vibe, you hear about, what this energy feels like to me is that if you've ever watched YouTube, or if you've ever gone on the internet and kind of Googled the keywords, like what these famous actors, like the first time, a lot of actors struggled at first, like they didn't make the billions of dollars, millions of dollars for a role. But if if you look at what the first time that they landed a big movie part, once they got that first big paycheck, they got that first big movie role, what did they do? What did you do with that first paycheck? That's what I'm kind of feeling here. Now, by the middle of the week, it's interesting. It's kind of senses like, again, I also feel like you might be imbibing, like you might be indulging in something. Like maybe you get your favorite chocolate cake, or it just something feels a little bit decadent. Like something feels decadent. Something feels like like a little bougie, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, again, you getting that first paycheck and putting it towards something that you really, really wanted, that you would normally not buy because it would normally be outside of your price range or something. Now, by the middle of the week, you have the Moon card. And then what's amazing about this is you have two major arcanas in this week. The first one being the Moon. Now, by the middle of the week, what you might be doing is, if this is some type of new job, you know how when you first, the first day of the new job, you're like excited. You're like, yes, new paycheck, new job title. By the middle of the week, you might actually be feeling a little, when you finally get started, when you finally start doing the job, sometimes you might have a few moments of fear, or you might have a few moments of going, oh gosh, did I bite off more than I can chew? Is this something I can really do? So here, the moon likes to play tricks on you. It likes to, by the middle of the week, you might feel like a little foggy about a few things. You might have a few underlining fears, something underneath the surface that's kind of bubbling a little bit. If this is work related, you might feel like, okay, I'm starting to do this new role, or I'm starting to, do things. The other thing that I kind of get here is that, I'm really drawn to the way that there's wolves in the background. You might feel a little bit like a lone wolf in the middle of the week. The other thing I kind of get is that maybe you're leading a pack, like maybe you're leading a group or a team, and you might feel a little bit lost. You know how when you have to endeavor to do something, there is always a little kind of like a little nugget of fear. Like, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to pull this off? Is everything going to be okay? But So in the middle of the week, you might feel a little bit lost. You might feel like, okay, am I positive? Because we have new starts here. You're starting on a new path, and you might not see the way forward might be not be 100% clear. But all you have to do, the other thing I get with the moon is you might have to kind of follow your instincts a little bit, and there might be a few little inklings of fear, which is natural. That's human, right? The other thing is that, the moon can be a little illusionary. Sometimes it can make you afraid when there's really no reason to fear. But a little natural, a little natural kind of, fear can be a good motivator. It can be a good motivator. But by the middle of the week, you might be doubting yourself a little bit. You might be a little hesitant or a little afraid of what lies ahead. You might be leading other people, or you might have a group that you need to be a part of, and I'm getting kind of a sense of like you don't know where you stand, or the way forward might be a little foggy. But I don't think that you're going to let this fear hold you down. I think you're going to be okay. The other thing that I get here is that there might be a little bit of a third party, like there might be another person or situation that's involved in the middle of the week. Again, this is kind of rooted in fear. I almost get the sense like you're afraid that something else is going to come in and overshadow what you're trying to do. Either that, or you're afraid that what you're endeavoring to do, someone else might be able to do better. But I don't think that's a real concern. I just think that might be a fear in your head. And but that's just going to be kind of the middle of the week energy. And I think things will the fog will burn away soon enough, and you'll get past this as you go towards the end of the week. Now, by the end of the week, you got Justice and you got the Ace of Cups. So I think if you are worried about, if you're worried about your plan and how you're going to move forward, I think you're going to do things in a very fair way. Like I'm hearing just the facts, ma'am. Like you're going to move forward and you're going to do what's right. You're going to keep it on the level. The other thing I get is that you're going to get past anything that's real fuzzy, and you're going to get real clear-headed by the end of the week. Now, one other way that I can kind of see this is that you might be dealing with someone who's in this energy. And with the Ace of Cups, this could be... one way I can kind of read this is that you might also be kind of standing up for your rights. Like you're gonna do what's fair to you. You're gonna do what the right thing according to what you need to do. And you're not gonna again. You're gonna stick to. You're gonna do what's fair, right? The other thing is you're gonna view things. You're gonna view the situation. You're gonna view other people in you're going to judge them equally. You're going to be equal, but you're not going to, I'm seeing kind of a boundaries here with this. Sometimes when we really want to do a good job, or when we want to impress others, sometimes we'll put our own needs aside in order to accommodate others. I don't see that happening here. I really kind of see this as being like you're going to do what's right for everyone involved, including yourself. And the other thing that I get is that you're gonna run things the way that you want to run them. Now, one last way that I can kind of see this is that maybe you might have something that you're being judged for at the end of the week. It doesn't necessarily have to be something legal, but I do get the sense that you're going to be real excited about the outcome of this, right? Again, maybe you're pitching some kind of idea, and everybody's going to look at it and say, okay, yes, they're going to kind of vote on it, right? But I think you're going to be really happy with the outcome, and it's almost like, you're going to get the green light to go ahead, and it's going to make you really excited. It's going to be a new emotional start. Like, I also get the sense this is something that you're passionate about. The other way that I can kind of read this is that you might be dealing with some kind of Libran energy, like you might be dealing with a Libra person. Um, if this is by the weekend, if this is relationship related, you might kind of have a new relationship that's starting with someone. Um, And I know this sounds kind of funny, but you know how sometimes when you approach someone and you say, "Hey, can we go out for coffee?" and you feel like the person's kind of judging you, not in a mean way, but they're kind of summing you up. They're kind of looking at you like, "Okay, is this somebody that I really want to go out with?" And you might feel, again, I'm getting kind of like a green light, like, someone's kind of looking at you and saying, you know, giving you a fair shot is what I'm hearing. So, okay, all right, we'll go out for coffee. Well, I'll give you a shot. That's only fair, right? And it just feels really exciting to you. It feels really exciting to you. You feel like you're being given a fair deal. You're getting I'm hearing a fair opportunity. Something that you deserve. You know. And it's making you real emotionally happy. Like, again, it feels like an emotional new start. Like the beginning of the week, it's like a financial fresh start, and then by the end of the week, it's like this emotional green light. So you're having a good week, pile one. Now, what we've got here is we've got poet. We've got your two cards, the two that flipped. We've got poet and we've got teacher. So this is amazing. Poet says expresses soul insights in symbolic language. The shadow attribute is turns lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. And then teacher, it says the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And I'm seeing both of these in the light attributes, especially with these two, because you've got aces, and you've got like the Nine of Cups. Like I feel like you're having a really lucky week. The other thing is your card. You got main person. So what this is this is kind of the Lenormand. When it says main person, it means a male figure, a male person. And this could be a friend, it could be a boyfriend, it could be a father, it can be a mentor. And if you're a woman watching this, I get the sense like someone is going to, you might have some kind of male figure who's kind of teaching you something or communicating something, and they're doing it in almost like a poetic way. I get this feeling like they're not coming out and directly showing you something. You know how, have you ever like learned something from a story, or you know how fairy tales have like kind of inherent morals in them? Or if somebody if you're talking to someone and then they post a song, or a song lyric really starts, it's almost like this person is speaking to you in some kind of symbolic language, and that however they're communicating with to you, whether that be through music or through poetry or through art, they're communicating some kind of, they're communicating to you, and they're also giving you some kind of skill, like they're teaching you something. And but really, when I look at this, they might, the Nine of Cups is really like a wish fulfillment card. It's like something really kind of exciting. So, but I do get the sense that somewhere along the line, this male person can either be a love interest, or I'm getting more of like a boss, or like a mentor. And this person is going to be communicating to you through, again, it's not going to be real direct. They're going to show you something, but they're going to do it in an indirect way, and it's going to be kind of poetic. Again, I would be on the lookout for someone. You know how sometimes when you talk to someone, maybe you shared a story or you talked about something, like maybe both of you had gone to the same concert, or both of you like the same music artist, and then all of a sudden you're talking to this person and then they mention a song lyric, or they're going to throw out something that sounds, again, it's going to be an indirect. They're going to show you something or teach you something in an indirect way, and you're going to know exactly what they're talking about, because it is going to be in some kind of code. It's going to be in some kind of language. But with it being main person, I do almost get like love interest from that. Yeah, something about a house. You know what I almost get? I'm not sure where this is coming from, but I'm getting, you feel like home to me, is what I'm hearing. You feel like home to me. But the other thing that with the Justice in the Cups is that you might have experienced injustice in the past. Like, you might not have been given an opportunity before, and I think maybe justice is being served. Like, by the end of the week, someone's coming up to you and being like, you deserve this the entire time, and it feels like, like that cup of love being given to you. I hope that makes sense, pile one. It's like, again, I feel like it's like you getting your just desserts, you getting what you deserve, what's fair. And it might be, again, in that kind of indirect way. Like, someone might come up to you and finally, give you something that you've been waiting for, and it'll feel like, okay, at last, I'm getting what's fair. But it won't be direct. Again, I get the sense like the way that it's asked of you or expressed to you is going to be, like through music or something that's kind of in a code language. All right, so deck number 2, the Starseeker Tarot by the Van Mystic. Let's go ahead and see what's your energy for the week. Okay, let's go with this top one. Okay, middle of the week, please. Actually, let's clarify the Tower. Can I get one card to clarify the Tower, please? Wow, okay. Okay, can we clarify the Chariot? You've got quite a few majors this week, pile 2. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got the world peeking out here. And the moon. The moon's been kind of a common denominator. All right, we've got quite a lot going on here, guys. We've got 5 major arcanas. The womb is not technically a major. It's an extra card in this deck, but we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, deck number 2, please. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you. Meetings. Okay. I kind of got 2 archetype cards for the first deck, so I'm going to go ahead and give you one more too, just to make it fair. There's one more. Okay. Oh gosh. Wow, we've got some strong cards here, guys. All right, there's very powerful. And again, I've said it before, when you see a lot of majors in a weekly read, it doesn't mean that like anything crazy is going to happen. Majors are, I always think of it like gears of a clock. The major arcana are the big gears. They're almost like they're the bigger life events. So for instance, like you graduating college, that leads to you getting a job and getting an income and then working on your career. So the bigger gear of going to college for 4 years or however long turns the smaller gears of what kind of job you're going to have, what kind of career you're going to have. So the bigger life events, almost like, the big life events that go over years kind of turn the smaller gears that go over months and then over days and over weeks. So this week is really the smaller gears that are being turned by these bigger events, if that makes sense. So what's happening is, the beginning of the week, you got the Tower, and underneath it, you got the Hermit. So what I'm seeing here is, I'm seeing, and these are such interesting energy, and the lighting really doesn't do these cards justice, because when you look at them, they just have beautiful artwork. Like there's a gradient of dark and light that it's hard to see on the camera. But the Tower is about necessary change, right? The Tower is about, if you've ever seen storms roll in, the buildings that withstand the storms are the ones that are built on a sturdy foundation. The buildings that get blown away with the slightest breeze, those would not stand the test of time, and it's devastating, because it's like, it's conflict, it's change, it's radical change. But what we're seeing here is, actually, even if you look at the Hermit, he's holding kind of like a world in his hand, right? And what I'm really getting here is, I get a sense that you're in the middle. You're at the beginning of the week, you have a lot of change going on around you. This could be a change of location. It could be changes going on in your family. It could be changes going on in your career. But it's almost like you're unfazed, with the Hermit being the root of the energy. I think there's a lot of change going on, but it's almost like you're calmly looking at it from a distance. Not to sound funny, but it almost kind of feels like, I kind of read this one of two ways. The first way I kind of read it is, anytime something challenging or anytime change kind of rolls through, if it's change that you've been really ready for, like, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, something's got to change. I can't keep doing things this way. That's kind of the Hermit energy. The Hermit is a man of wisdom. He looks back at all that he's experienced and he reflects back upon it. So this kind of energy is almost like, let the storm come. Let the storm roll in. Something needs to change. I'm ready for something to change. And you're not getting upset by the storm clouds or the lightning. You're not afraid of it. It's like, okay, you're ready for unsteady foundations to fall. You're ready to move in a new direction, right? You're ready for it. The other way I kind of read it is that, even if it is something unexpected, you're not fazed by it, because it's like you're anchored. You're anchored in yourself. So the world can be changing all around you, but you're not afraid. You're ready to take on whatever. I'm hearing, come what may, bring it on. Just come what may. Whatever changes are coming, I can't stop them. I can't prevent the storm from blowing in. All I can do is wait for the storm to pass and see what's left and see where I go from there. I also get a sense like you're familiar with how the storm works. That's the other thing I get, is that, because that's the other thing about the Hermit. Sometimes, especially when you're older, or when you've had enough experience in your life. And I've said that before here on the channel, sometimes when life starts getting real unpredictable, it's very unnerving. It's scary. But the one way that you can kind of brace yourself is by looking back at your past experiences. Like for me, I've left jobs. Like I've had jobs that I was not happy in, and it was scary. It was absolutely terrifying to leave that job and not have another one lined up. But I somehow knew it was the right thing to do. And I survived that experience. I survived that storm, right? And it's almost like, when the lightnings, when the thunder starts grumbling and the lightning starts flashing again, it's like, oh God, is it going to be that again? Is it going to be that bad again? But instead of worrying about what type of storm it is, you do the same thing. You look back at your past experiences and say, well, I've weathered storms before. Let's just see what this one does. And it's a mature energy. It's a mature, look at this. It almost looks like he's holding that storm in his hands. You know? One other way I can read this too is if you are like a boss or a CEO of something, it's quite possible that maybe you are bringing the storm. The magician, oh my goodness. You might be manifesting the storm, guys. You might be making changes in your life that you're just ready, like that you're ready to make. The other thing that I kind of get with this is that maybe you're really, if you're taking a great attitude, whatever's happening at the beginning of the week, you're really kind of taking the attitude of, this is happening for me, not to me. So that's quite possible, guys, is that there might be some kind of challenge that's going on in your environment, but you're like in this peaceful energy of holding the storm in your hands and being like, okay, what can I take from this situation? What's good about what's happening right now? What's good about, how once all the faulty foundations are leveled, once everything is wiped clean, where do I go next? How can I go next? And you see in the magician card, he even has a mountain behind him. But again, he's unfazed. He's looking at what he does have. He's looking at what he has. And maybe that's what's happening, guys, is maybe there's a storm going on right now. And the other thing is, I don't think that, it's not like you're going to be able to start moving forward right away. But you know what I almost get? I almost get like the storm is occurring now, like at the beginning of the week, and you just have to kind of wait and watch and not get upset and just kind of meditate, kind of breathe, and just, it's almost like you're watching everything fall, and you're contemplating, like, have you ever had those moments in life where there's no action that you can take right now? Because that's the other thing about the hermit. There's no action you can take right now. Things are still occurring. You have to wait for the dust to settle, is what I'm almost feeling. But you can, while you're waiting, you can almost like kind of breathe and say, okay, wow, this looks like chaos. This looks like, is there going to be anything left? What am I going to do? How can I handle this? But you're leaning on your past experiences. You're leaning on your past challenges. You're reminiscing back on when you've weathered storms before. You're also kind of mentally taking note of what elements you have on the table, like what assets you have as of right now. Like, the storm might, the tower falling might give you more assets, but you also know what you already have. You know the assets that can't be taken away from you. And the other thing is, I get a strong sense of, like, I almost get a little bit of a sense of excitement, like you're ready to start afresh. You're ready to start afresh, but you can't go for it yet. But the thing about the magician is that he has that the commonality between the magician and the hermit is foresight. Foresight is being able to say, okay, this is happening. The moment that this happens, I can do this and this and this, right? Like, if once the dust settles, I could make this with that. I could create this with this. And it's almost like you're getting into kind of an anchored space of like, okay, let's make this happen. Now by the middle of the week, you got the Knight of Pentacles. And this is such a neat card, is because you see that there's little stepping stones there. And he's standing like at the bottom, like he's standing at the beginning. And look, there's another mountain. There's another mountain there. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, but he takes very plodding steps. Like every step he takes is solid. So it's almost like in the middle of the week, you are ready to start climbing that mountain, but you know you got, I'm hearing breaking it up into manageable pieces. So again, by the middle of the week, you might actually start to move a little bit. The other thing is that you're going from like hermit energy to knight energy. So there might be an aspect of this that feels new to you. The other thing that I get is that when this situation, whatever it is going to require that you go on a mission, right? And you know how sometimes we get comfortable, you know, if maybe you've done an office job for a really long time, and then all of a sudden your company restructures and they're like, oh, okay, well, you know, we don't have this office job for you anymore, but we do have another position, but it requires you to go out into the field, or to do site visits, or to go, you know, to do installations for customers. That's what this kind of feels like. It kind of feels like, oh, okay, wow, this is something different. You know, I'm going to have to work for this. There's going to be physical effort that I have to do for this. But whatever it is, you are going to you're going to see some movement. Like, again, maybe the storm's cleared a little bit. And you can actually see the path forward. But the path forward is going to be in steps. But the other thing that I get from this is that whatever these steps are, you can see it. Like you have a game plan. You can map this out. You can really map this out. Like again, this is not, you know, it's so funny that the Tower is such lightning quick energy, but the Hermit and the Magician and with the Knight of Pentacles, that is a little bit more slow and steady. There's nothing fast about this. And also with these being majors, this could also be very divinely guided. And I know that sounds very woo-woo for a weekly, but it is almost like you know that this is the path that you're meant to take. Like you're getting in, your intuition tells you, okay, this is the path that you can take. And the other thing that I get is that with every little step, you're going to see physical results from every little step. But it is just going to be slow and steady. Slow and steady is going to win the race. But by the middle of the week, I feel like you're actually starting to move. It's just going to feel like a little bit like at a snail's pace. It's not going to be like lightning quick. But the other thing I get is that the Knight of Pentacles can be a little bit boring, you know? Sometimes it is a little bit of a boring energy, and it's not a bad thing. He accomplishes everything that he sets out to do. The only thing is, it's just kind of like, you know, if you've ever seen the movie Zootopia, you know, when they go into the DMV and the sloth is moving like really slow. That's what it kind of feels like. It's like, okay, now I can start moving. You know, that's how it kind of feels. The other thing is that it might not be the most riveting thing that you're doing, but it is going to give you success. You know, and it is going to, you know, you're going to start taking those little steps. By the end of the week, this is amazing, guys. You got the Star, you got the Womb, and you got the Chariot. So what I'm kind of seeing here, and it's amazing, you see how the Tower is number 16 and the Star is number 17? The Star always follows the Tower. The Star is after the storm has blown away all your house and taken all of your clothes, and all you have is your body, you know. but you, it's like a fresh start energy. It's a hopeful energy. There is hope. There's so much hope in this situation. And the womb, actually the womb is a special card. It's an additional card in this deck. It's not a real tarot card. But the womb talks about incubation, almost like a baby in you know, like an embryo in the womb. You know, um, you are, there is hope growing in you. There's hope growing in your belly, right? By the end of the week, first thing I get is I think by the end of the week you are going to start moving forward a little bit faster. You know what I almost get? It's almost like, again, you're by the beginning of the week, you're not quite sure how the chips are going to fall. You're not sure how things, there are changes going on in your environment, and you're not sure how it's going to end up. But you're prepared. Like, you're not going to worry about it. You know what elements are yours that can never be taken away from you. But by the middle of the week, it's kind of like you're actually seeing the landscape after the storm. Like, okay, this is how I move forward. It's just going to be slow and steady, you know, as I get my footing. By the end of the week, you got the Chariot. And the Chariot is two opposing forces. You have one horse going one direction, another horse going another, but the Charitor reins them together. They get the energy of opposing forces to go the same direction, so you go faster. And actually, if you look at this, she kind of has a star in the crown of her. She looks very much like the star there, and there is a star in the crown of her head. I think by the end of the week, you're going to feel like you're moving a little bit faster. It's not going to be blazing speed, because you know what? It's almost like it is almost like you're the Chariot, and you have to rein two horses going opposite directions to go one direction. So that's not. It's almost like you feel stronger in the direction that you're going now that you know which way you're headed. And you're letting hope kind of, you're still going slow, because all of this new energy is new, right? The other thing I get is that I think that you're a very steady person. You don't like to just start, you know, running in any direction and hope that it gets you where you're trying to go. You want to know what the end game is. But what I'm seeing here is that, you know, at the beginning of the week, you had no idea how the chips are going to fall. By the middle of the week, you kind of see the layout. One other way I can see this is, if this is work related, you might actually be put in the loop. Like, you might actually have a conversation with a boss or something like that that's telling you what's going on, where by the end of the week, you feel like the control is with you again. You know what I almost get with the Chariot is, like, one horse is your willpower, the other horse is the will of your employer or the other area of your life, right? And you know what I'm almost getting is that maybe before you felt like it was out of your control and that was upsetting you. It's like, okay, things are happening, again, happening to me, not for me. And by the end of the week, the dust is settled, the storm is past, and actually you see, you know, clouds here, and you can kind of see that you can combine your energy with this new direction. Your will and the will of what's happening around you can go in the same direction. And I think that's not only giving you, it's giving you a sense of renewed hope, like it's letting you go into yourself and feel better. But I think it's also giving you, like, oh my goodness, you know, this direction could lead me here, and this direction could lead me there, and look at how much I have to look forward to. I think by the end of the week, you're going to feel really excited. The other thing I kind of get from this is that with the womb, you do also see another mountain in the background, but it's not as clear. I think by the end of the week, you know that there will be challenges ahead. Like, there is still a mountain that you have to climb, but it just doesn't seem like Everest anymore, right? It doesn't, you know what I almost get, guys, is that, you know, once the fog clears, once the dust settles, you're going to start, by the end of the week, you're going to feel like it's not just you climbing that mountain by yourself, that you might be able to do it with your employer or with your coworkers, or and you're going to feel like you're going much faster in that direction because you have that help. You're not alone. And I'm just really getting clarity, guys. And what's happening is the womb in this deck is the last card before the Fool. And in the beginning of the week, you had the Magician, which is the beginning as well. So by the end of the week, I just feel like I think you're over the weekend, you're going to be pulling within yourself. You know, it's almost like you're getting acclimated to your new situation. The other thing I get is that all this fear is going to clear. You know, anything that was uncertain about how this was going to fall out is clear to you now. And it's almost like you can kind of just go within yourself and just kind of rest a little bit. But you have hope for the future. You know that when you go forward, you're not doing it by yourself, and it's not going to be totally at a snail's pace. You might have to go a little slow at first just to get the lay of the land, but you are going to move forward. The other thing I kind of get is that you could also be potentially going in, or I feel like you're getting like a new energy, guys. I really get the sense like there's a lot of reflection in the beginning of the week of where you're coming from and how that landscape is changing. And then by the end of the week, I do almost get the sense like now that the fear has passed, now that the storm has passed, you can actually start thinking about what you can do, what you want to do, and you're getting excited about it. I think you're actually getting excited about it. And as you get excited, and as it's almost like, okay, I can go this direction, and the more you start going that direction, you start picking up speed, you start going faster. It isn't just, you know, at a snail's pace. But I do get the sense with the womb, it's almost like you want to kind of think about it before you take off running. You kind of want to think about it, but you are excited. And I'm excited for you, Pile 2, because that's always a good feeling. You know, no one ever wants to just feel like, oh gosh, you know, this is, you know, my path is boring and plodding, and, you know, and you're not excited about it. Here I see that you can actually get excited about the direction that you're going, and that you will pick up momentum as you go. And then, but you are going to be, the other thing I get is like I get the sense like you're adjusting, like you're adjusting your talents to where this new direction is going to take you. Now, what's interesting is you've got child nature, and you got God, which is a very strong, but then you have a lot of celestial. You have, you know, the tower, I've always kind of seen it as an act of God. And, you know, the womb is, you know, being an embryo in a womb is like you're a child of God, right? Well, I don't mean to get terribly religious. I'm not staunchly religious, but when you think about it, when a baby is created, is that not a miracle, right? And every person, when you were in your mother's womb, you were a pairing of chromosomes, of genomes that are uniquely you. There is only one you. And all of those cells, all of those alleles, they paired up, they split up. That gestation created you. And it's almost like you are back in that womb as an adult, creating yourself. I think, you know what, recreating yourself. I'm sorry, that took me a minute. You're recreating yourself. You're evolving, and it's, you know, we always do this. Our challenges, our problems, the mountains that we climb, that's what develops us, right? But what's beautiful is that challenge, that by having those challenges, it can propel you forward. But child nature, we got friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. Gosh, guys, with nature spirits. And I do see a lot of nature here. Like in the Magician, we have like an eagle, and then here we have the horses. We have the mountain. There's a lot of mountain imagery here. And then under God, it says benevolence and compassion, recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. Wow, guys. And again, didn't we just talk about that? Like recognizing, you know what I'm almost getting is that you're connecting to your true nature. You're connecting to your true nature. And there are so many mountains in this, guys. Like in the Hermit, he goes up to the mountaintop and he's like standing above his problems. He's elevated above his problems. In the Magician, he has his back to the mountain. Like he almost looks meditative of how he's gonna, how he's going to climb that mountain. What resources does he have? What reserves does he have? So I think you're really getting in touch with yourself, guys. The other thing I get is over the weekend, I think you're almost connecting with your true self through nature. And I think a lot of your guides might be speaking to you through like maybe nature walks or just getting outside. Also benevolence and compassion. I just feel like that's such hermit energy. Like there's a lot of solitary, these are all single figures as well. I don't think that, it's funny, I think a lot of this is going to be introspective, but I don't think that you're going to be completely alone all week, because you did get the meetings card. And you see how this is a man and a woman on horseback. And oh, look, we've got 2 horses here too, guys. So again, I think you will be pulling within quite a lot, but I do think that the catalyst of that reflection, or first off, at the beginning of the week, I think that you just know something's coming and you're preparing for it, like you're anchoring yourself and you're reflecting on your past experiences to help you. Like you're looking back on how far you've come, and you're remaining cool, calm, collected, and you're ready for the new challenge. By the middle of the week, you're actually going to see what lies ahead. And I do get the feeling like you might have a meeting with somebody, and this could be here, this card kind of looks more romantic, but I am almost getting kind of a work feeling, receiving a gift. The Star, receiving a pleasant letter. I do think that you're going to get some kind of communication. It might not be in person. It might be virtual. I think someone is going to tell you what's going on. And I do also think that someone might be giving you a gift. It might not be like a physical gift, but it could also just be a gift of information. But by the end of the week, guys, that's really beautiful energy. I do see you pulling yourself within a little bit, but I just feel like you're starting off on a new adventure. And while that might scare people, and it could be scaring you, you might feel a little nervous about it, but you're prepared. You're a prepared person. You like to plan out your steps. And by the end of the week, I do see that you not only start going in that new direction with a little bit of fervor, like you're like, okay, I can go in this direction kind of quick. This doesn't have to be a slow process. And I do think that you're also thinking about like your talents, like what is unique about you in this situation. And I think you're getting excited about it. I think there's changes coming, guys, that might make you a little fearful at first, but by the end of the week, it's almost like, okay, let me run towards this. And you can not only build momentum, but you might have other people helping you, because I'm just seeing these 2 horses and there's 2 different riders. So there might be someone who's giving their energy, also gift. Yeah, someone might be giving their energy to you to help you propel you forward, but you are going to pull within a little bit. You are going to incubate a little bit. But it's almost like there's hope in this situation. Like there's The other thing is that the star can mean a gift. Like, the star is, blessings that come after the storm. But wow, guys, oh my gosh, that's kind of a powerful week. All right, so deck number 3, we've got the Zillich Tarot. Can you guys see okay? Sorry for the fuzzy there. Okay, so deck number 3, the Zillich Tarot. Let's go ahead and see what's your energy for the week. Oh, this is the 3rd time we've had the moon come out. Middle of the week, the star, end of the week, strength. Let me go ahead and clarify the moon, please. Good googly. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of getting a beat on this. Now let's go ahead and get your 2 cards. So we'll get 2 of the Archetype. Okay, that first one. Okay, and then just going to kind of say it. Yeah, we'll get into it when we get to the success and love. Alright guys, so I am definitely getting kind of an interesting energy. First off, we've got a lot of majors. All 3 piles had a lot of majors, and like I said before, majors don't mean that something crazy is going to happen. It just means that there's bigger events going on for your life right now, and this week just kind of plays into those bigger events. I always think of it like years of a clock. If you're watching this at the time the video posts, we are still in pandemic world. That has effects on your family life, that has effects on your work life. And sometimes that can kind of manifest. Again, those bigger events kind of turn the smaller gears of your months, your years, your weeks. So that's what we're kind of seeing here. Now here we've got the beginning of the week, we got the moon, and underneath it we got the emperor. So 2 ways that I can kind of read that. First off, this is a very scorpionic energy. Both the emperor is ruled by Aries, and actually you even see a ram here, and here the moon has a scorpion on it. So that's very Mars energy. It's very Mars energy. And actually I think Mars is in Capricorn right now, which is very emperor energy. Even though the emperor is ruled by Aries, the emperor rules patriarchs, and the emperor is the king of kings. He's the ruler of rulers. And what I kind of get here is that you can be a man or a woman in this energy. You just assign the genders as they resonate. So this, you could be manifesting as the emperor. But what it is that male or female, sorry for the background noise. Oh, dude has a loud muffler. Here, you could be, again, we could be with, if you are a more Aryan type of energy, like if you're more of like a quick action, you know, very direct kind of energy, the planets in the sky might be kind of squaring off with you right now. And what I'm kind of seeing here is that what I'm sensing here is in the beginning of the week, I get a sense of being afraid that you're not strong enough to lead. Um, so there's a few ways I can read it. If you are a leader, like if you are a CEO or if you're a leader at work, you might be kind of afraid. Um, you know, scorpions, you know, both the sign and, you know, any you could have it anywhere in your chart. It doesn't necessarily have to be your sun. Honestly, if you have a Scorpio moon or Mars, and actually, if you do have your moon in Scorpio, that might you might be kind of feeling it right now because there's a lot of other planets right now. If you're watching this at the time the video posts, there's a lot of heavy transits going on. Like right now, the planet of Uranus is in Taurus, which is opposite Scorpio, and then Saturn, which is the real heavy taskmaster planet, kind of the emperor planet, is in Aquarius, which would also be squaring your Scorpio moon. But what I'm getting here is that I kept seeing this card that says gloomy thoughts. You see like somebody standing on a ledge and looking over at the you know the churning waves. And the moon rules the tides. I get the sense like one of two things. You're either in a position of leadership and you're afraid that you're not going to do it right, or Scorpios are notorious for not showing how they feel. They feel really, really deeply. It's almost like that sea is their emotions. Like they're all churning and upset and worried and scared, but they'll never show it. A Scorpio will never show it on the outside. They have such a poker face. So what I'm kind of seeing here is that you could be worried about a boss figure. Maybe you have some kind of project at work, or maybe you have some kind of pressure that's being put on you, and you're just worried about how you're going to perform, or worried that you know things are not going to work out right. And actually, I think we're coming up on a full moon too. I don't think it's in Scorpio. Is it in Scorpio? It would be a new moon in Scorpio. It would be a full moon in Taurus, which might be squaring off with a lot of those planets. Anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. So you might be worried that that you might be afraid of a CEO or a boss. Like you might be worried that someone's not, you know, is expecting a lot from you, or that you might not be able to live up to that position. The other thing is that if you are the emperor, maybe you're coming across as kind of tough because you might be really worried right now. Like you might have a lot of pressure on you. You might be really kind of scared, but I'm getting the sense like you're afraid, or you have fears. Maybe you're afraid that you can't do a job adequately, or you're afraid that you're not going to live up to someone's expectations. If you are a man watching this, you might also be afraid that you're either going to fail at work, or that you, with the emperor, that can also be a father. So maybe you feel like you're afraid that you're going to fail in a father role. And the thing is that you're not letting that fear show, and I don't think that you're talking to anyone about it. And these feelings are really churning underneath the surface. They're really churning underneath the surface. But the other thing is that you might feel like, I always compare the moon to that scene in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know how she's running through the woods and she thinks she sees eyes everywhere, and she's terrifying herself. And it's because she can't see, right? It's because at night in the dark, when you know the moon reflects the sun's light. And not everything is how it looks in the light of the moon, you know. The other thing is that you can really fuel your own fears. The other thing I kind of get is this might be a little bit of a negative mindset at the beginning of the week. Not so much negative, but it's stern. It's a heavy mindset. You know how sometimes, like, imagine that you're the president of a company and you have big decisions to make, right? And maybe you're not 100% sure this is the right decision to make, and you have everyone relying on you, and if you fail, it's the end of the world. And it becomes that circle, right? You've got heavy thoughts, you've got heavy decisions, you've got heavy opinions. The other thing I kind of get with this is that if you're a woman watching this, this could be your husband, or the father of your child, um, who's having, like, this person might be, on the outside he looks, like, this might be how he looks when he's sitting at the dinner table. He's quiet, he's stoic, he's holding everything inside, but deep down inside there's something that he is either conflicted about, afraid. The other thing I get is that if this is your energy, and it can be male or female, pile 3, you're taking so much on to yourself, and you're not sharing that burden with anyone. It's almost like you feel like you have to be strong, but you don't have to. Again, I feel like you're terrifying yourself. Like, you I really think that it would be helpful to share this with someone that you trust. And you don't have to be blatant about it. You could just say, yeah, I've got this big, meeting coming up at work, and, we have to make a decision about this. And it does not make you weak to say that you're afraid. Or, you could even phrase it a different way. You could just say, look, I'm really nervous. I know that I'll make the right decision, but I'm nervous. Or you could even just say, this is a lot of pressure on me. It's been a lot of pressure. The other thing that I don't think that I think you feel like all eyes are on you, like you have to be a responsible leader. And again, if this is your husband or your spouse, this person might be holding a lot inside, and I think they're just really ready to crack, is what I'm getting. They're being so rigid. Look at how straight this guy is sitting, right? He's, I'm not saying slouch, but it would be good to just kind of let that out a little bit, because you know either that, or if this is not your energy, if this is someone that you love, this could very well be your father as well. If it's not you, this could be your boss. One thing that could be is that maybe if you're the right hand man, right hand person at work, and your boss is acting real quiet and real stern, and they might not be being mean to you, but they might just be quiet, and they look worried, but they're not sharing that with anyone. You might want to just say, look, either that, or if you think that's what's happening with them, you might want to kind of break the ice just gently, and just kind of be like, wow, I heard that you have that big meeting coming up on Wednesday. How do you feel about that? Do you think it'll go well? Maybe letting this person just kind of talk. The other thing is, I do think this person, if they do say anything, they will be tight-lipped about it. But even just letting a little bit out, just a little bit out. I think somebody in a position of power needs someone to lean on right now. Now, one other way I can see it is that maybe you have some kind of project that's due for a boss, and again, I see that you have fear about it, but you're holding it inside, like you're just kind of. Yeah, the other thing is, with gloomy thoughts, I just think, I get the sense like the Emperor is probably you, but you are in such, how you get narrow focused, and I do this, oh my goodness. I actually felt kind of bad right before, this last weekend. I've taken a few days off to spend with my family, so I've been on vacation. But that last day of work before I went on vacation, I felt like I get stern when I get controlled, but I get controlling when I feel like things are out of control. Right? And I think everybody does that. And emperors especially, they're good leaders, but sometimes they can be real strict, and it's because it's almost like it's almost like that fear is running the show, you know, like underneath the surface they don't want anything to go awry, they don't want anything to go wrong, so they control more. But then that just kind of fuels the cycle. It keeps you in a little bit of a gloomy mindset because you're so focused on what could go wrong that it makes you fearful, you know, and then that makes you kind of grip harder, you know. It doesn't, you don't loosen up, you control more. But by the middle of the week, this is really nice energy because we actually see, you see how it gets brighter. We've got the star, and this is such a beautiful star. It does kind of look like Maggie Simpson, but you see she's taking the seeds from a flower and she's planting things. So what I am kind of seeing is I'm seeing, like, I do kind of see that like the seeds of wisdom. You know, the star follows the tower. So, you know, the star is a new hopeful situation. The other thing is that it's new growth, right? It's new growth. But underneath the star energy, we have the Fool and the Five of Swords. So one thing I am noticing about this Five of Swords is that, first off, in the earlier the week, you see how the Emperor has that ram's head, and here you see it says defeat, and you see the crown is knocked off, and one of the ram's horns. I don't want to scare you. I don't see anything bad here. But what I see is that I do think that you might have a minor defeat, some kind of agenda that you were trying to get. You know, again, I get the sense like maybe you were holding on a little too tight, maybe you were pushing a little too hard, and somebody, the Five of Swords is a little bit of the Five of Swords is a little bit of a bully defeat kind of card. It is maybe someone kind of clapped back. Maybe you wanted to be, you know, maybe you wanted to be in control of something, or maybe you wanted something to go your way and it doesn't. But what I see here is, you see how black and white the defeat card looks, but then you've got the Fool right next to it. And look at that. Look at how bright that is. It's almost like you know, almost like in the Wizard of Oz when the house falls and it goes into Technicolor, right? And then look at the star above it. It's more of that golden sunshine. By the middle of the week, you might have some kind of small defeat. This defeat might kind of knock you off your throne a little bit. It might knock you off your horse, but I'm hearing off your high horse. But the funny thing is, I don't think that you're on a high horse. I do think that maybe you were holding on a little too tight and it was really fueling your fear. I do think that you'll kind of get knocked down a little bit, but all it's going to do is it's going to cut off your horn a little bit. It might knock the crown off a little bit, but don't take that badly. All of the greatest leaders have had failure, and failure has just made them stronger. And it also might kind of, the other thing I get from this is it might teach you to kind of lighten up a little bit, you know? One other way I can kind of read this is that it's quite possible that maybe, I don't think that there's going to be any change in leadership because this is a minor and the Emperor is a major. It is quite possible that you might take a little bit of a hit from a person in authority, but I don't think that it's going to be anything really hurtful. I just think I'm hearing it is what it is what I'm hearing. It is what it is. So it might not have gone your way, and it might feel like a really bad hit. It might feel like it might sting a little bit just because you wanted it to go your way, but I'm seeing you immediately bounce back from it. The other thing I get is that if something did fail, you can immediately turn around and start something new because you got the Fool and the Star. Those are the two most positive cards in the deck, and they're both majors. And the Fool is starting again. The Star is starting again. And with those seeds too, it's almost like the seeds of wisdom. If something does not go your way, The other thing that I get is that it just might feel a little humiliating, right? Again, I'm hearing kind of getting knocked off your high horse a little bit, but I don't want you to be discouraged by that. I don't think anybody's going to be laughing at you. I don't sense it's like that. But I do think that if this experience does allow you to show a little bit of humility, that would be really, really good. The other thing that I get is that I do get a sense that you're a good leader, pile number 3. You're a very good leader, but sometimes the best leaders are human. They show themselves to be human. Sometimes when we want to lead well, again, we get so rigid, and sometimes that translates as unapproachable. One other way that I can kind of see this, guys, is that maybe if you do have people following you, and again, that's a lot of pressure. I know I don't consider myself a good leader, but when people do have to follow my example, I get nervous. And it makes me stiffen up. It makes me act like the stuffy emperor. And then so what might happen is maybe by the middle of the week, one of your well-laid plans fails. That's one other way I can read it, is that maybe one of your plans fail, and instead of looking all crestfallen or being all stuffy or stuck up or, oh my God, I failed, maybe you could laugh at it. Maybe you could laugh at yourself a little bit. Again, show a little bit of humility. Maybe you can say, oh, well, dang, I was hoping that would work out. Too bad, But you turn around and you take the seed of what you were trying to do and you start again, but just in a different way. And I think by doing that, I think you earn the trust of those watching you. By showing yourself that you're human, I think people want to follow you more. The other thing is, I get, failure is just a new attempt to do something. Projects don't always get off the ground on the first try. Sometimes it takes a few tries. Now, what's really interesting is that, again, we have more of this golden orange energy. You have yet another major. This is technically strength, but underneath it says lust. This could be strength in the sense that you're being tenacious, like you're holding on to the dream of what you want. But here, by the end of the week, I am getting almost like a work vibe by the beginning and middle of the week. End of the week, I am almost getting a little bit of a love vibe. Because we've got strength, and underneath it says lust, but underneath that we've got the Queen of Cups. So first off, if you're a male watching this, or if you resonate, you recognize, you identify as male, 4 of Discs. I get the sense that this might be a woman that really holds your heart. You might be talking to someone that's giving you strength. Now, again, if you're a male watching this person that you're talking to she's like, what I keep sensing, water in the desert. They're like water in the desert. You see how the Fool is like walking through the desert, and then you see the Queen of Cups like bringing the ocean. You might be talking to someone that you really care about. If you're a man watching this, you're talking to someone that you really care about, who really, she connects to your heart. This person would get you to open up. Like if you're an emperor kind of guy, this person gets you to open up. The other thing I get is that you care about this person. It's almost like you have to hold yourself back. The other thing I get is that you almost have to be careful with the way that you talk to this person, because it's almost like you don't want to say too much. You don't want the floodgate to open. 10 of Discs, yeah. Now, if this is your energy, pile 3, like you're coming across as the Queen of Cups, I think you're going to be really, again, I'm feeling like keeping your emotions in check. You're going to be real emotionally strong by the end of the week. You might be talking to someone that you feel like you almost have to kind of be strong. You almost like you have to be emotionally strong around. But this is really beautiful energy, guys, because I just feel like, and And again, if this is all work energy, by the end of the week, I almost get the sense like you're really ready for the weekend. You're ready for the weekend to begin, so you don't have to, put on that mask. I'm getting the sense like, you know, you're being really strong all week long, and then by the weekend, it's almost like you almost want to, you want to, you want the Queen of Cups is always in control. She's very emotionally mature. Like, she knows how to manage her own emotions. But I do think that by the end of the week, it's almost like you're ready for the work week to end, so you can, you know, kind of be alone in your own feelings and just kind of balance yourself out a little bit. The other thing I kind of get is I do sense that you, with the Ten of Discs, you might be talking to someone that you feel like you almost have to hold your emotions back from. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of swords. Like, I get, like, beginning of the week, you're very, very pent up and not talking to anyone. By the end of the week, I think you're talking to someone. And it's almost like you're just trying not to unload, or, you know, you're trying not to unleash the ocean on someone. Nine of Discs. Yeah, you're very independent by the end of the week, but you're staying strong. Like, you're staying strong in your emotions. You're staying balanced. Now, your two cards, you got Saboteur and you got Visionary. And Saboteur, it says, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. And honestly, guys, look at this. I really think of that when I think of the moon and the Fool. You know, don't be afraid to embark off on something. The other thing is, don't be afraid to let go of control a little bit. You know, you know that you got this, right? So I get the sense like, yeah, the Saboteur sometimes can be self-sabotage, where maybe you feel like you don't deserve success. So you keep getting close to getting the promotion, you keep getting close to starting a new relationship, and then when it gets too close, or when it gets too close, you get uncomfortable and then you shut it down, right? Or with the Emperor, maybe, I mean, it's quite possible, this is another way I can read it, guys, is that if the beginning of the week is not work related, you might be getting close to someone who feels like your divine counterpart, that feels like your divine masculine, if you're a woman watching this, and you just feel real confused about it, like you're scared. You're scared, this guy looks like, you know, he's the one, and you're afraid. You know, either that, the other thing is the Emperor is a little bit intimidating because he is like, he's the divine masculine. Like, if that cute guy who's not only really sexy, has a good job, is really single, doesn't have any kids, and you're talking to him and you're really hitting it off, and it's good communication, it's good combination, and you're like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. It would never work out. You know, gloomy thoughts, right? So Saboteur really talks about that. Okay, you know, you prove yourself at work, but then you don't take the promotion even though you've earned it. You know, you start talking to the hot guy, but then you're afraid to take it forward because you're afraid of getting hurt, or you think it's too good to be true. Saboteur really talks about that. It's also about like trusting yourself. If something fails, you can bounce back. The other thing is Visionary, is a capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard of personal gain. So that is something, that is really Queen of Cups kind of energy. She's very intuitive. Sometimes the things that she says sounds a little bit crazy. You know, a lot of card readers have a lot of water in our charts. We're very Queen of Cupsies, you know. The other thing that I get with Visionary is that if even with the Emperor energy, you know, sometimes that's the other thing about the Queen of Cups. She can really kind of, I think of Queen of Cups as real moon sign Cancer energy. Cancers are very good about predicting the future. And I know that sounds funny, and it's because they're kind of, they kind of see the signs. You know, like if you're at work and you notice that your boss has been going to a lot of meetings down at headquarters, and then there's a new person that's been showing up, they're like, okay, you know, something's going on here. Where is this going? Where do I see this going? They're very again, they're very intuitive. They can kind of see the signs and pick up on things. You know, so what I'm kind of seeing here is that maybe you're looking into the future and trying to lead people or trying to decide where to go next. And really what you want to do is just trust that instinct. Don't doubt it. Don't sabotage it. If even if you try and fail, there's some element of that failure that you can build upon, that you can start again. You know, if it doesn't work out, you can try again. You make the best decisions based on what you believe to be right and the facts of the situation. But what's interesting is that we've got success in love. And this Queen of Cups really does look like the lady in the boat, right? And the fact that you're in water, you know? So, you know, it's quite possible, guys, that you might feel like you might be dealing with a masculine who's a little bit pent up, or you could be really pent up. By the middle of the week, you're going to loosen your grip a little bit, or you're going to help this other person loosen their grip. And then by the end of the week, you're going to feel much stronger, much more confident in yourself. You're going to stop self-sabotaging. Like you're going to like, it's almost like every single step of the way, you're just going to check in with yourself and say, okay, does this feel right? This is a little scary. You know, I've got some gloomy thoughts, but I'm not going to over control this. I'm not going to sabotage this. I'm going to go with the flow. But I am seeing success in love here, guys. I'm really seeing that it's quite possible by you being a little bit more open, you might even allow yourself to, hope big water. Oh my goodness. Hope big water. And what's the star? Star is hope, and the Queen of Cups rules water. And here you are, success in love in a boat. So, you know, I do think that you might have some love interest kind of going on. The other thing is you do see the moon above this. So again, you know, you might be dealing with someone who is self-sabotaging, and your vision, like your instincts, might help this person come out of their shell. This might be a partner or someone that, you know, that you are the support system for. But I do sense, I'm getting a strong sense of, you know, try not to, if this person is giving you the game face, right? Like they're not showing their emotions, or if you're holding your emotions in, if you're holding on too tight, if you're being rigid in your approach towards the beginning of the week because you're kind of afraid, you might want to loosen up a little bit. You know, again, try to show humility. You know, if you fail, it makes you more approachable. You know, people trust you more when you show that you're human. And if you do fail at some kind of project, you can start again. It might actually work better after the failure. But I do see some kind of love connection here. And definitely, if you are a man, by the end of the week, you are going to be connecting with a Queen of Cups. This is a very big-hearted woman. And I do almost get like there's going to be kind of an opening of emotions. It's like a floodgate of like, the other thing I get with hope, big water, is that you can actually trust this person. You can trust this person. You can trust your feelings. You can allow those emotions to flow. You know, you don't have to be, you know, the Emperor is like a dam, you know, holding all that water in. You know, the Queen of Cups lets that water flow, and she's not afraid of how she feels, you know. But wow, guys, oh my goodness, that's a real, well, my pile threes are always a deep dive, because I get the sense, I always feel something about the number 3 feels very spiritual to me. So I always feel like my pile threes are my readers, and my, if even if you don't read cards, I think, maybe you study feng shui, or, Buddhist teachings, or there's something very spiritual about my pile threes. But all right, guys, well, I thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for giving me the extra day or so to get the video out. I promise you I will get back on schedule. I know I've been promising that for weeks, but I really, it was such a joy to visit my family. I've really missed my mom, and seeing her and getting the hugs, have been restorative. But I hope everyone has a good week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.